YouTube, and welcome to a Who review. So, today, before we start, I am Davros and I am a Whovian, and today I am reviewing Doctor Who, The Trial of a Time Lord. So, this is complete season 23. It's a 14-part serial, 14-part story, where the Doctor is summoned by his people, the Time Lords, and is put on trial for various time crimes, after he wanted to devote himself to the finer things in life. But yeah, he was put on trial by his own people, the Time Lords, and he must fight for his future lives. So this is, like I've just said, a 14-part story with 4 serials in it. So the first serial is The Mysterious Planet, and that is parts 1 to 4 that are written by Robert Holmes and directed by Nicholas Mallet, when the Doctor and Peri find themselves on a mysterious planet, and they come across these alien tribes people. And then the second serial in this story arc is Mind Wipe, parts 5 to 8, written by Philip Martin and directed by Ron Jones. When an old foe returns, those wormy-like creatures, I can't remember their names now, because I've not seen that serial, but I know one of them's played by Christopher Ryan, so he appears in it. And in this one, it's also got Brian Blessed in it too. And in this one, it takes quite a dark turn, because the alien creature worm thing played by Chris Ryan wants to take Peri's body, and he succeeds in doing it, and yeah, Peri goes bald, which I thought was a bit disturbing. You know, a beautiful woman like that going bald. Yeah, and the Doctor fails to save her and loses her in that one, so probably, yeah. The third serial, Terror of the Veroids, that's written by Pip and Jane Baker and directed by Chris Clog or something. In that one, the Doctor is acquainted with a new assistant, a new companion, Mel, played by Bonnie Langford, and yeah, the Doctor comes across some more deals there, gets introduced to carrot juice. Doesn't sound appealing. And then the final part of this serial, the fourth story, The Ultimate Foe, parts 13 and 14, written by Robert Holmes, part 1, part 13, and Pip and Jane Baker, part 14, and again directed by Chris I'm butchering the name, but the one from the previous story. So, yeah, this story, so basically season 23 was not intended to be like this, but the year before, in season 22, Doctor Who had really upped its violent factor, and they were on about taking the show off air for 18 months, but luckily producer John Nathan Turner managed to save it, and they had to really cut down a lot of good serials got scrapped, and they had to sort of rewrite it and stuff. And I thought, as the show is on trial, let's put the main character, the Doctor, on trial, and they did. And, yeah, so the Doctor stands trial by the Time Lords, and there's one Time Lord in particular called the Valeyard, which actually means Doctor of Law. Yeah, and the Valeyard actually turns out to be a future incarnation of the Doctor, in his 13th, 14th incarnation, which I don't know what really goes on there, because the Doctor sort of messes with that point in time or something, I don't know, and changes that point in time, and the Valeyard becomes someone else. Also the last serial, the last story arc in the serial, The Ultimate Foe, that felt a bit rushed and a bit all over the place, because the first part was written by Robert Holmes, and Robert Holmes has wrote for Doctor Who for years, but he was very ill when writing these final stories, his final stories, and passed away before he could finish writing the Ultimate Foe. So Pip and Jane Baker, to a writer couple that stepped in and finished the story for him. Of course, they weren't allowed to know what he'd written, so it was quite tricky, but I think they got it done nicely and that. Yeah, I'm just going to cut straight to my likes and dislikes. First of all, the likes. Well, I liked Colin Baker in this. He put up a great performance as the Doctor, unaware that this would be his last season. But still, I think Colin Baker gave us a great show, and probably was the only one that made it quite watchable. Nicola Bryant was great in this for the first half of this story, but I don't like how she got wrote out. See, at the end, it turns out she wasn't dead. It turns out that she was saved, safe on a planet with Brian Blessed's character living as a warrior queen or something. So it was nice to have a bit of closure on her, but I do wish she could have been wrote out a bit better than that and stuff. But still, at least it was nice to have closure on her. Yeah, I'm on my likes and dislikes. Other things I liked or didn't like. I didn't like the serial parts, like because in it the Doctor's on trial, and then we go into like flashbacks into this cosmos where, not cosmos, into this interface, this fantasy factory or something, where the Doctor is looking back at stuff from his past with Perry. And then next thing, they look into his future, where he's got a new companion, Mel, played by Bonnie Langford. I didn't like how complicated that bit was. There was a lot of this that was complicated, but it was a bit of a tight schedule. They didn't have much time to work with. They had to quickly do something with this serial, and to be honest, it did kind of look a bit rushed. But the effects in it, especially in the opening scene, I thought were very nicely done. Very 80s sci-fi and that. How it happened and stuff. Yeah, I just don't like how Colin Baker as well was treated in this, because, he did a great job as the Doctor, and I wish he could have left on better terms, I mean, I think Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy were the right guys for the job. I just don't think it was the right time for them. I mean, Doctor Who was really starting to have its time on TV, was starting to take its toll. But John Nathan Turner managed to get it renewed for another season after that, season 24. But they didn't want Colin Baker doing it, they sacked him. But they did want him to come back and do a regeneration. But, of course, Colin Baker being so angry, he didn't get the send-off he deserved. And they improvised from there by dressing Sylvester McCoy in Colin Baker's costume. And that, which was in the following serial, which we're not reviewing right now. Yeah, but Colin Baker's Doctor does have a bit of closure in the audio adventures from Big Finish, the Last Adventures series with the Sixth Doctor. He gets the send-off he deserves in that, and I do like how they end that one. A bit of a prequel to that season, to the time in the Rani. So yeah, I also did not like the character of Mel. I don't like Mel. She is my least favourite companion of all, and I completely disliked her. She was so annoying and irritating. I don't know what John Nathan Turner was thinking in casting Bonnie Langford. Apparently she got the role because she could scream really well, and because John Nathan Turner discovered that she was on a ride at Alton Towers and she screamed. And it was because of that scream she got the part as the companion, and yeah, I don't think Mel is the best companion. I just don't. I don't like her character. Yeah, I like the character of the Valeyard as well. He was like a good villain in this, other than the Master. He was a good villain, and it was like, if he is the Doctor, then why is he setting his past self up or something? But then the Doctor and the Master comes into this in the Ultimate Foe, in the Summit Machine, the Fantasy Factory, and the Doctor and the Master and the Valeyard. Something happens where the Valeyard where the Doctor no longer becomes the Valeyard. Yeah, I just don't like how confusing that was, because it was confusing. This serial started off okay, But it sort of went down from there, and I would say that's from the rushed writing and the farce that was going on. I mean, I don't know why John Nathan Turner just wouldn't let the show go on a year hiatus and let them improve it. I mean, I wasn't around at the time in 1986, so yeah. But yeah, this serial has its good parts and its bad parts, such as the handling of characters in this, how they were wrote out, how they were wrote in. It was just a messy story, you know, and I feel this could have been done better, but like I said, the show was on trial and they were considering taking it off, but like I said, John Nathan Turner managed to save it for at least 3 or 4 more seasons, because the show didn't last that much longer after that. And that's because the year before, the show was getting too violent and too dark. But I think it's because of Colin Baker's run as the Doctor, his era, that the show's become as dark and as, you know, quite graphic as it is today. I think it was like the sort of prototype for what the modern era could bring. And of course, I do see quite a lot of that now in today's Doctor Who shows, Okay, let's just get to my final thoughts and ratings, because I don't think I've got much more to say about this serial. So, The Trial of a Time Lord was an okay serial, took up a good season, maybe 14 parts were too long, maybe they could have cut this down, or maybe better, they could have just put it on hold for a while. Either way, Doctor Who The Trial of a Time Lord, it's okay, it's not brilliant, I mean it's not perfect, but it's good. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Doctor Who The Trial of a Time Lord, I'll give this a 2.5 out of 5, because I'm a bit split between it. 2.5 out of 5 for Doctor Who The Trial of a Time Lord. So let me know down in the comments below, have you seen this serial? If you have, then let me know down in the comments below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and to hit that notification bell. All of my social media links are down below in the description. So, until next time, I have been Davros the Whovian, and until next time, run for your life.